Hi guys, here for the Chapter 7 review. This chapter is a lot easier than you think it is. It just happens that Mr. Farmer explained it really badly. So this is basically based off of 3 equations, or you can consider it kind of like 4. So this one, B equals R times S of Y over S of X. This one, A equals Y bar, which is your average for the Y column, minus B of X bar, which is your average for the X column. Imagine you have a graph, you have an X and Y value. This is all the Y values average, and this is all the X values average. He never explained that. And then the last one is Y equals the Y-intercept, or Y hat, sorry, equals the Y-intercept plus BX. Or you can think of it as, for the math, it's better to think of it this way. Y hat equals A plus BX. What is this Y hat thing? This is basically saying, for this specific graph, remember this is all translated from a graph. This is simply, Y equals mx plus b. Notice, m right there, x, b. Yeah, I don't know why they messed it up like this. They should have just used the same formula. Anyways, this is all taken from a graph, so you will have, again, a y-intercept. In the homework they called it a constant, so I just threw it in there. Imagine that line of best fit. That is your y hat. Basically, your y hat is going to land on the whatever point. Say you have, like, I don't know, an x value of 100. You say, for this thing, what would 100 be predicted to be? Plug in 100 at the x. They'll give you this formula, and you plug it in. I just took a question from the homework, which we'll do later. So yeah, if they give you this formula, like, what would the predicted value of 50 be? You just take it, 50, plug it in for x, solve. You'll get yourself a y, and then you'll say this is the predicted value for 50. Again, this is the predicted value. This isn't actual, which kind of comes in as the determinant or whatever that number is, which is just actual minus predicted is your discriminant. That's what it is. Discriminant. It's just actual minus initial. So the actual value from the graph, where the point is, minus the predicted, which is what's come from this equation. So here, let's get started on the question. I took a question from the homework. This is the stuff they gave me. As you can see, they wanted me to find y bar and s of y. Here's my formula. Y hat equals 200 minus 4x. This is your A and this is your B. And x is that extra constant that you just plug into. Imagine if this equation was left behind without the parentheses or anything, and they said, what is the predicted y value of 100? Plug in 100 for x. What's the predicted x value of 50? Plug in 50 for y hat, and you get your x predictions. Simple algebra. Sorry it came back to haunt you. So first we're going to solve for s of y. You're going to use the b equals r times s of y over s of x. This form, not this one, this one. As you can see, you plug in the values and you multiply the 6, which is your s of x, right down here. See, 0.8 is r. Negative 4 is your b, which is right there. So plug in, multiply by the 6, then divide by the negative 0.8, and you get that 30 equals the s of y value. Simple algebra. Then you go for the y bar and use that formula. Plug in, remember the a is 200, y bar is your unknown, and you got negative 4, which is your b, and you got your x bar. This is different than x. X bar is your x average. Don't forget that. It's kind of confusing sometimes if you don't remember the formula properly. Remember, if you don't know the formula, you should always have x bar, unless they're asking specifically for x bar. So you plug it all in. So you can see I multiplied, drew my big plus sign here because of the parentheses, and that becomes, well, plus sign. You subtract, find that 152 equals y. You remember your discriminant is going to be your actual value minus your predicted value. So let's play around with this more. Let's say we have an actual predicted value, let's say for 100. Let's plug in, let's see, y hat equals 200 minus 4 times 100. Okay? we want to find out what's the predicted value if x equals 100. Okay, pretty simple. Grab our calculator, turn on. Remember, you could just really use a for function for this. This is really easy math. Do 200, oh, that's a 5. It's a 2 down here? Yeah. 200 minus 4, not that 5. 4. Jesus. Now I can actually see it. 4 times 100, put it in parentheses, and you get that negative 200 would be your answer. So your y hat value, your predicted y, would equal negative 200. Say your actual value was negative 150. All you're doing is negative 150, your actual, minus negative, or it looks like an equal sign, minus 200. These are double negatives, so you're going to be positive, and you're going to get positive 50. What does that even mean, positive 50 discriminant? That means that you did better than the predicted value. So the predicted value is negative 200, and you notice you did 50 points, or 50 whatever, better, because it's negative. If it was positive, you do 50 less, because you get a negative 50 here. So it's just simply saying, how different were you from the predicted value? And were you above the predicted value or below the predicted value? In this case, closer to 0 would be better. So that's to find your x, or to find your y hat. Say if you're given y hat as 200, write it down, or negative 200 equals 200 minus 4x. Subtract 200 again. You get negative 400, running out of space here, minus 4x divided by negative 4. Guess what? Just got 100 again. Just remember, this is algebra. Plug, multiply, divide, subtract, add, do whatever you need to do. Remember, the discriminant is actual minus initial. Formulas, memorize them. I don't know if we're going to get them on a test. It's the B, R, S, Y, X. Okay, here's the A. I'm going to give you guys a couple seconds, like write it down or whatever. And here's these. I would write it like this, and just understand that A is your y-intercept, or a constant. It could be called either one. And just, if you get confused, remember, it's the same thing as this. Y equals mx plus b, except imagine the b is here and the m is an a. Just switch it around. Okay? Bye.